Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone.
Pleased to see you again. For the past 2 days, through the Sejong we have been thinking about how to protect our environment and to save the earth.
Yes, we had a valuable time through lectures by Dr. Malcolm Fairbrother, as well as Amy and Ella Meek, and we shared our thoughts through discussions.
We were sorry that we could not participate in all the hands-on activities due to the elevation of social distancing. I hope things get better next year so that all of us can work together.
I feel the same way. Next, Sejong will report Youth Voices. Let's wait for her to get ready.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Sejong. It's time to listen to our teenage voices about environmental issues. We have 6 short videos to present from Sejong, India, Malaysia, Australia, and Taiwan. Now, shall we move on to the first video?
Hello everyone, I'm Tirtha Chegandi of grade 8 from Sadhana Infinity International School, and today I'm here to tell you about the most problematic thing of our environment. When aquatic animals die, they sink to the bottom of the ocean, and due to Earth's pressure and force, they go into the earth. There, multiple reactions take place, and finally, petroleum is formed. This petroleum is sent to refineries and it's made into many articles. One example is plastic. This plastic is shipped to all over the world and we can buy it. Now, there are a few types of plastics which can only be used once and then they're disposed. They end up in the landfills where they take millions of years to decompose, or they either end up in the oceans where they just pollute the oceans. This type of plastic is called single-use plastic. As the name suggests, single-use plastic is used only one time and then is disposed, and it causes a lot of problems. So let's make this promise this year. Let us all try to avoid single-use plastic and swap single-use plastic with recyclable plastic. Thank you.
This speech helped me a lot to understand about plastic. Like Peter said, instead of single-use plastic, let's use recyclable plastic.
I'm Adele Barnaby from Stella Maris, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm excited to be here today at Sejong Youth Forum. I will be highlighting on one of many environmental issues that Malaysia and the world are facing, namely ocean dumping. Water is the source of life for humans, plants, and animals, and it covers 70% of our planet. If we continue to dump waste into the ocean, the oxygen in the water will diminish and many sea creatures will die. And when there is no life in the ocean, everything else will collapse too, as everything in the ocean contributes life to our planet. Ocean dumping should be made illegal, period. Every country should be responsible over their own garbage disposal and not turning it into a billion-dollar business web that results in most of the garbage ending up in our ocean. My dear youth, pick up your phone and Google Ocean Garbage Patch and witness what we have done to our world. We have caused more harm to our ocean in the past 50 years compared with the past 4 billion years of the planet's existence. It is causing pollution, climate change, and destroying marine ecosystems. The impacts are directly affecting us too. Tighter laws are needed and countries should work together. This threat is a universal threat. It is a threat on humankind, and we need to act together now. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency can play a big part in making sure that such activities do not occur in Malaysia's water. As a citizen and youth, we need to do our part. Stop using non-recyclable items, hold a community beach cleaning activity, and use your knowledge to spread this awareness. There needs to be more awareness on the effects of ocean dumpings from today on Every time you're at the beach, collect at least one bag of garbage when you leave the beach. Let's save our environment, one plastic bag at a time. In conclusion, more efforts are needed, and caring the environment is something that should be taught at an early age. We should always strive to take care of our environment as it affects us all. I hope with the combination of better education and awareness, we will make a difference, especially the youth. That is all for now. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
And I was particularly impressed by her advocacy for environmental issues.
Hello everyone, we are Chinuji and Hoyujin from Forum Middle School CPR team. Our team members gathered together to find problems around us and suggested solutions to solve them.
We were interested in the problem of increasing delivery packaging waste and the resulting environmental pollution.
CPR, our team name, has two meanings. First, it means CPR, the instrument that saves the heart of the earth. Second, to suggest that people use the delivery paper cleanly to protect the environment after COVID-19.
CPR's logo is centered on the chicken heart in the middle of the picture that represents the green earth. The reason why chicken hearts were used in the logo is that chicken is the main cause of delivery waste.
Since COVID-19, food delivery turnover has increased around 8 trillion won. Sales on major delivery apps also rose 75%. Delivery garbage also increased as delivery volume increased. Then, let's find out what kind of delivery waste there is and what's wrong with it.
First is plastic. The amount of plastic delivery waste increased 14.6% in 2020 compared to 2019. As COVID-19 becomes more serious, we are using wet tissues and masks very much. The wet tissue company's profit has risen sharply since COVID-19. And the production of masks has also been on the rise.
Increased plastic waste threat to the ecosystem. Many animals mistake plastic for food, and many plants can grow normally or die due to environmental hormones from plastic.
Second is coating paper. Examples of such coatings are chicken boxes or pizza boxes. After COVID-19, the environmental problem became serious as the number of delivery packages increased.
Environmental hormones can be released from the coating on the chicken box, which can be harmful to people's bodies.
If a chicken box has a pea coating on the outside or inside paper, it shouldn't be recycled as paper and be discarded into general waste.
So, we're going to replace pea coating with other technologies. And considering the width and volume of the box, we came up with a new eco-friendly chicken box.
Instead of pea coating, we used the company's coating technology named Repaper. It meets the conditions that eco-friendly chicken boxes should have. It's more safety and less human harm.
Add paper made with Repaper's technique to the inside of the chicken box. Minimize the side where the sauce or oil gets on the paper.
Next, use non-wood paper. To solve our destruction in the increased number of delivery boxes since COVID-19, we are planning to make chicken outer box with recycled paper made by extracting recycled pulp.
To reduce the amount of material used in containers, we thought of a spherical form that is similar in volume but efficient to reduce the surface area. However, it was difficult to make spherical containers, so we used a regular dodecahedron. In addition, the shape of the plane is pentagon, making them very stable.
But we found that there are some problems. The first problem is cost. Acrylates used in eco-friendly materials are very expensive. Price of acrylate is about 4 times higher than the paint coating that we usually use now.
Second, we need to improve our technical skills. Technology must be developed more to remove the distinctive smell from it. Third, it is a matter of stability. Particle melting was observed in a study at temperatures of 150 degrees. Compared to peak cooling, acrylate was unstable. Once the environment is destroyed, it is hard to recover. So we need to try our best to save the environment.
That's all we've got. It's an honor to be able to present our ideas in front of you today.
Thank you for listening our presentation.
I hope there will be more ideas and technology developments for our environment, like the students' eco-friendly chicken box. And it's our turn to make the changes.
Hi, I'm Hayley.
And I'm Konya.
And we're the Service Learning Captains at St. Paul's School.
Here are some of the ways that our Service Learning Committee resolves environmental issues around our school. One of Australia's most beloved animals used to be very common around our school. However, over time, with construction and destruction of our surrounding environment, these cute creatures are no longer common.
We're talking about koalas, cute, cuddly marsupials that love to snuggle up in trees. A few years ago, the Service Learning Committee established the Koala Corridor.
Every term, our committee plants over 200 trees at the very back of our school oval.
Here it is! We started planting trees in the Koala Corridor in 2018. These are some that we did last year. We have over 500 trees in the Koala Corridor so far, and we're hoping to expand.
We hope that in the coming years, these trees will grow up into a koala corridor, providing a habitat for many koalas at our school.
But that's not all we do here at St. Paul's. We also promote recycling with our blue bins.
In these bins, you can only put plastic bottles and cans. On Interhouse Carnival days, we have competitions of who can put the most correct items in these bins. This provides an incentive to recycling.
We hope you enjoyed our video. Hopefully our ideas can provide inspiration to you.
It's amazing that the Service Learning Committee has been working on the Koala Corridor since 2018. I like to give a big hand to their good idea and effort.
Hello! We are Hanseol Middle School students. This is Narin, Hogyong, and Jiyoung. We are all members of a club called City Farmers. Our main goal is to empower students to participate in small environmental activity and project. Our club is special because we become real farmers after school. We have a green garden on our school rooftop. There we grow many things like vegetables and flowers. Ta-da!
Let's talk about some of our club activities. In March, we advertised our club to recruit new members. In April, we plant vegetables like carrots, eggplants, tomatoes, beans, chives, lettuce, and so on. We take care of the plants by watering them regularly and by pulling out pesky weeds when they appear. With these vegetables, we hold an annual special event called City Farmers Market Day. On Market Day, we sell the vegetables we produced ourselves.
Why are these activities so important to us? Well, we wanted to make small changes in our lives to help the planet. Small changes like this are important in order to help make meaningful changes. So let's talk about how these activities help our planet.
First, our rooftop garden helps us lower the indoor temperature. This garden acts as a barrier by stopping the sun's rays from directly hitting the roof. By lowering the indoor temperature, we conserve energy by using less air conditioning.
Second, We can reduce carbon emissions by growing agricultural products by ourselves. Intensive farming causes high emission of greenhouse gases. Also, we shorten food mile. The distance that a food product travels from where it is produced is called its food mile. By shortening this food mile, we can reduce carbon emissions. These are small steps we can make to help fight climate change and global warming. Lastly, when we sell our locally grown vegetables on market day, all of our proceeds go to UNESCO and the Welfare Foundation. Environmental Samaritans, aren't we?
Last but not least, by growing and producing our own vegetables, we know exactly what we are eating. We reduce the risk of eating vegetables that contain harmful chemicals and GMOs. Nowadays, people consume too much meat. By consuming a lot of meat, this forces companies to produce more meat in order to profit. To produce meat for humans, farmers need to produce more food for the animals we consume. Natural and organically grown crops cannot cover the amount of vegetables we need. So producers use things like GMOs in order to increase supplies of food. Furthermore, people destroy forests for intensive farming. This vicious cycle accelerates global warming. Growing and selling our own products is a simple thing we can do to help our planet.
As students, we want to present two policy proposals. First, we suggest that schools or students who want to make their own garden on their school rooftop be supported with enough budget. Our school is the only school that has rooftop garden in Sejong. With this support, many students can have greater opportunities to make the plant greener. If lots of schools join us, we can make a club for students in the whole region. We can share ideas and advertise our activity to people in Sejong together to reach the same goal.
Second, we suggest that the government office support students who want to build a market for selling their own products. It's not easy for students to handle all of the laws and manuals to build a market. With this help, students can give better influence to society and share the meaning of this work together.
What we do in our club is anything but a regular after-school thing. It's a small step in the right direction. We really like the work we do and are happy that we can do something for our world as a teenagers. Let's do small things step by step together for our planet.
Thank you for watching!
Can you believe that the students grew vegetables on the rooftop? I was impressed by their farming during the club activity. One of our partners, Kingsway High School, also sent us a short video of students' pledge relay. What I can do for environment is, let's see.
Hi, I'm Yuting. I'm from Taiwan. What I do for environmental protection is to do a proper recycling and purchase snacker with green materials.
Hi, I'm Sunny. What I do for environmental protection is to bring a reusable straw and reusable bottle with me when I'm out.
Hi, I'm Jun. What I do for my environmental protection is to do my efforts to reuse plastic bags around me and doesn't get new ones from stores.
Hi, I'm Brian. What I do for environmental protection is to bring my own utensils instead of using disposable ones.
Hi, my name is Jason. What I do for environmental protection is when I buy things in convenience store, I will use something called 载具 instead of paper receipt.
Hi, I'm Wei Shan. What I do for environmental protection is to ask clerks to scan my mobiles so that recipes go directly into my apps and save paper.
Hi, my name is Mina. What I do for environmental protection is
then I will take public transport, such as buses, subways, or even on foot to decrease carbon dioxide emission and mitigate air pollution.
Hi, I'm Jingyi. What I do for environmental protection is to ask myself, do I really need this product when shopping?
Hi, my name is Ivy. What I do for environmental protection is to turn off the light and AC when I'm out and also take public transport.
Hi, I'm Guanling. What I do for environmental protection is to avoid purchasing overpackaged products and do a proper recycling.
Hi, my name is Sherry. What I do for environmental protection is to invite my family to join the energy saving campaign.
Hi, my name is Shelly. What I do for environmental protection is to take public transport. On top of that, turn off the light at daytime and also limit the time of air conditioning to save more energy.
Hello, my name is William. What I do for environmental protection is to use green utensils and bring my own ones when dining out.
Hi, I'm Chao Zhen. What I do for environmental protection is to bring my own utensils when eating out in replace of disposable ones. Additionally, don't buy products with over packages.
Hi, I'm Avon. What I do for environmental protection is to use eco-friendly utensils and use disposable utensils less often.
Hi, I'm Yifan. What I do for environmental protection is bring my own practice, avoid buying overpacked products, and buy eco-friendly appliances.
Hi, I'm Corinne. What I do for environmental protection is bring my own bag, do recycling, and turn off the AC.
Hi, I'm Ethan. What I do for environmental protection is to use my own utensils and turn up the AC temperature.
Hi, I'm Winnie. What I do for environmental protection is to bring my eco-friendly utensils to bus to school and go with digital books rather than paper books.
Hi, I'm Nina. What I do for environmental protection is to habitually turn off lights, buy electric scooter, use less AC, and use more eco straws.
Hi, my name is Rima. What I do for environmental protection is to use reusable utensils and go to school by bike or by public transport.
So far, we have watched young students' videos from different cities. I'm so pleased to learn that young students are making so many efforts to save our planet. I think we should start by changing our daily habits and try to use single-use plastic. What's your thought on that? I hope that all the youth participating in the forum will be able to take actions starting today, not tomorrow. This concludes the report of Youth Voices from Sejong and our partner schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Sejong, for your report. Next, Dongli, Karen, and Taeyeon, who participate in the discussion, will summarize some issues that have been raised during the discussion.
Participated in the Group 1 discussion that was held on Wednesday, revolving around the topic of plastic pollution and the climate crisis that is happening around the world today. So the discussion was held between speakers from various different countries, and it provided a great opportunity to listen to the diverse opinions everyone had to share about the climate crisis. So the major points that were dealt with during the group discussion included the roles people could play in overcoming the climate crisis, methods to promote sustainability, and whether the concern for plastic was high or low in different countries. During the discussions, the one thing that everyone agreed upon was that we must start acting now, and that everyone must be aware of the problems the environment and the human race will face if we don't do so. All participants focused on the concept of informing other people about the state the environment is in now as a possible solution to the climate crisis. Many of the discussion participants agreed that some people are just not aware yet, or at least not enough, about how concerning this issue is. So in the past, the term climate change was widely used, but now trying to acknowledge the fact that the word change doesn't convey how serious the climate issue is, we now use the term climate crisis. And like this, the situation is extremely serious, and all the participants agreed that we need to inform others on this issue and bring people together to make change. Now, a participant also mentioned how some people are aware of the issue, but they don't act upon it. Another similar opinion was that many people think that they can't make a difference. And to this, we concluded that this was once again because people aren't feeling the issue at heart, and that we could help them by specifically explaining about the state the Earth's in right now. During the group discussions, we also tried to present the kinds of things we could say to persuade people to make change for the environment. One method suggested was that we could alert people by explaining how many countries could disappear if the climate crisis isn't resolved. We discussed how many countries may go underwater soon, and that if people start recognizing that perhaps their country could face this issue as well, they would also be more willing to change. And another method suggested to get people aware of the climate crisis was to educate young children. Using short movies, videos, and animations to teach younger children about the environmental issues could help children get a better understanding about the climate crisis at a young age. And similar to this, using social media to promote sustainability was also suggested in the discussion. Now, personally speaking, the most interesting part of the group discussion was when all the participants shared the country's concern for plastic. It provided a chance to listen to different policies each country had relating to plastic and how different countries were dealing with the same issue in many different ways. For example, one participant explained how in her country, India, some schools provide education in exchange for plastic waste. This method can increase participation in education while helping the environment at the same time. Another student from Malaysia shared that in her country, there is a fine if you litter on the ground. Like this, through the sharing of different policies in different countries, we were able to expand our view on the possible solutions and policies that could be brought about to solve this climate crisis. Now, the most controversial topic of the discussion was about whether the participants were currently confident about a brighter future for the environment. Some participants were not confident due to the fact that it's not easy to change for the better right away. They emphasized on how there is so much plastic around us and that wherever we go, from the grocery store to the night market, we're provided with plastic packaging. And therefore, they claimed that it's really difficult to deny using plastic because it's so near us. Also, the fact that many countries currently rely on plastic was a major concern that prevented some of the participants from feeling confident to change right away. However, whether we agreed on being confident or not, everyone did see eye to eye on the idea that with enough interest and action taking place, a change could be made. And we suggested ways to do this during the discussion time, such as using water bottles over plastic cups and using eco bags instead of single-use plastic bags. And I would say that this was the major conclusion of our group discussion as well. And it was that we needed to make changes to our lives and encourage other people to do so too, so that we can all be aware and do what we can to help the environment. Now, before I end my presentation, I would like to say this experience was really meaningful to me because it provided a chance to discuss with others about the environment. And it provided a chance for me to look back at myself and my lifestyle to see how sustainable I can make it and how I can change it to be. And the opportunity was also it allowed me to think of ways to persuade other people to act along with me as well. So with that, I would say that was the general summary of the Group 1 discussion. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen, and I am the representative for Group 2. I'll be representing Group 2 in the discussion that we had. All right, so there were a lot of opinions exchanged, a lot of valid reasons, excuses, etc. that were exchanged, and many things were said, which were very good points. To start off, we all agreed that Professor Fairbrother's speech was in many ways very impactful, very encouraging, as he told us many things. One of the few things he did tell us that stuck by with all of this was that how he told us that as long as we commit ourselves to whatever issue we have, we can tackle the problem, since it's very much our duty, and how we only have one life and one earth, and how it's very valuable. Aside from that, we also had different opinions on how that as so long as we can like have a normal lifestyle while tackling this issue. There were two different opinions. The first one was that we disagreed, as we agreed that big measures, drastic measures should be taken, especially during this pandemic. It's not easy to tackle two issues at once, so it'll be easier to tackle one after another, or else it'll be a never-ending cycle and it will just go on and on. The other part to this discussion was that we agreed that bigger cities have bigger impact on the environmental crisis, but at the same time, we don't have to change our lifestyles so long as we take the initiative to do whatever we can to work towards improvement and hopefully putting an end to the state crisis, which would be the environmental crisis that we're all facing right now. Aside from that, many solutions were thought of on how we can face these problems, these global warming, plastics pollution crisis. It was brought up that certain more developed countries that emit more carbon should have like more pressure on them. We should have more pressure on them. They have more responsibility. They should have a specific standard for carbon emission, usage of plastic items, and etc. Governments should also work together with bigger organizations like the UN, and the UN could try to do a more encourage-based movement, only punishing the countries if they cross certain lines, like if they emit too much carbon emissions, or they pollute the sea, they throw a lot of like garbage, and they use a lot of plastics. Aside from that, it was also said that this was a social issue and that this was something us humans did, and so we should take the initiative. We should solve this problem ourselves. We should do this all together. Aside from that, it was also mentioned that reduce, reuse, recycle is a mantra that we all heard, and that, well, one of these speakers, Amy Meeks, said that recycling isn't exactly the solution. We all agreed to this because we all understood and we all think that reusing and reducing is much more effective. It takes up less energy, while recycling, it uses a lot of money. And aside from that, it takes plastic bottles and makes more plastic. And certain items cannot be reused again since it's only a single-use plastic, certain single-use like items, and reusing them over and over again would only make it worse. Aside from that, a lot of solutions and ideas were also brought up on how we could promote a more plastic clever lifestyle. One of the few stuffs that were mentioned was that we should encourage more biodegradable stuff, use more of them, and when we go out shopping, we could use paper bags. Aside from that, students can start like changing to reusable items. Schools can start providing more reusable items. Like for an example, I remember one of our delegates, she mentioned that her school changed and switched to reusable straws. So we don't have to use plastic straws over and over again. It's not environmental friendly. Aside from that, we could also bring our own water tumbler, bottle, rather than buying mineral water and reusing and just using plastic all over again. It's going to be a never-ending cycle. Of course, forums, activities like this should also be encouraged. This raises more awareness, and us individuals should also watch documentaries to like learn more. We should take initiative to learn more. Aside from that, we could always bring our own lunch boxes as opposed to using styrofoam. All in all, it was a very informative and very fun discussion. We all had different opinions, but we respected and we all learned a lot more. Awareness was also increased, and we all understood the importance of this issue, this matter at hand, and how we should tackle it. And before I end my part, I would like to say that this was a really, really fun, forum and etc. It was really nice, and it's an honor that I got to do this. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Chang Sejong, and I will now be summarizing some things that were talked about in Wednesday's group forum in group 3. Before I start, I just want to quickly mention that it was such an honor to get to have an experience like this, and I'm positive that it was truly helpful to everyone who participated. So during our forum, we got to hear amazing presentations from Malcolm Fairbrother and Amy Meek about how we can solve climate change and plastic waste. Then we got together with our groups through Zoom and discussed about specific climate issues. During Malcolm Fairbrother's presentation, we learned that climate change can be solved if we really put effort in. Mr. Fairbrother mentioned that we can all live well, we just need a smarter way to live. He spoke about how we have solved many climate issues during our past, such as acid rain, lead, and etc. All we need is for leaders to actually step forward and take action. But in order for that to happen, we as global citizens need to demand and speak about these issues. During Amy Meek's speech, we got to learn more about plastic waste. She mentioned that not all plastic is recyclable, and even if it is, many microfibers come out when getting recycled, and we can only recycle it to a less better quality of plastic. It basically doesn't reduce our consumption of plastic at all. Some things Amy mentioned that can solve this issue is globally pushing the environment and as consumers, making companies change for the better. For example, Amy and her sister went into cafes to actually support using reusable straws and things like that. And most importantly, being plastic clever and using alternatives for the Big Four. After hearing from both Amy and Malcolm Fairbrother, we got to discuss together with our groups. Our group's wonderful teacher, Margole Monless, asked us a couple questions, then we got the chance to share our thoughts with each other. One thing I loved about this forum was that it was not just kids from one country that got to discuss together, but students from many different countries got to share our thoughts with each other, and this was very meaningful and educational to us because, for example, as Koreans, we got to hear about climate change and how it's affecting the world from Turkey, Malaysia, India, and more countries' perspectives. A student from India also mentioned that there are ponds, a lot of ponds, even in front of his house in India, that it's known if you bathe in it, your souls will be cleansed. So a lot of people and also animals bathe in them, and also people wash their dishes. So it's very polluted. And it was the first time ever hearing anything like this. So like this, hearing from diverse perspectives really gave us the chance to broaden our thoughts about this issue and really think outside of the box. For me, this really gave me the chance to be aware about climate change and plastic waste affecting other countries in the world. And I love that I got to hear different opinions on each of the questions that were asked. Before experiencing this forum, when I used to learn about climate change or plastic issues, I only read articles and saw media about climate crises, and they would just include the same stories about how our earth is dying and that we need to recycle and things like that. But communicating with students from other countries has given me the chance to think more deeply into this issue. Now to summarize everything we learned one more time, we learned from Mr. Fairbrother that we can solve this climate crisis because we have solved many in the past. We just need to be smarter with our choices. We learned from Amy that plastic waste is a serious issue and that we need to learn to become more plastic clever. And finally, when we got to discuss and answer some questions with our groups, we got to hear diverse perspectives of climate issues from different countries. And this all gave us a chance to think outside of the box. So I think this would be the end of my summary. Again, it was so incredible, and I feel extremely honored to have experienced a forum like this. I hope I can get a chance like this in the future as well. Thank you so much.
That is why we are here, to be ready to take action, right?
Well, now we have a request from Turkey. Sudner would like to share her thoughts. Please welcome Sudner. Sudner, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Hi, fellow delegates and honorable chair. I'm Sude from Turkey. To begin my words, I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to this seminal and enlightening seminar. I consider myself very lucky to be in this productive discussion and information environment. As for what I have learned from the speeches of the distinguished speakers, with Amy Meek's speech, I realized how serious and dangerous the environmental problems caused by humans are, and we can prevent them at least with our conscious and rational approaches. As it is better to adopt a plastic clever lifestyle before opting for recycling. To continue with Mr. Fairbrother's speech, with his detailed explanations of the environmental problems experienced in the past and how they were solved, I realized once again that there can be light in our future, which still seems dark, and that the people of the world should be just more conscious and willing to do something different, willing to do something that can make a difference. The last but not the least, with Tyler Rush's inspirational speech, I got so worried that hearing the problem of global warming, which has taken over our world, is not only the problem of the next generation, but that it will pose a threat to everyone who will still be alive 30 years later. That the oceans may lose their richness of life due to our carbon emissions. Our world map will change, and with increasing temperatures, most of the living things in the future will disappear, including us. But he also told us that we should talk about more about this global problem, that we should tell people this issue without pressure, that we should choose our leaders from the people who are environmentally conscious. As a result, I will share what this forum has given me with my family, my friends, and everybody that I can make my voice heard. And I will encourage them to take a part in this vital task. As we all know, we are together in this problem and we must be united. Let's not forget that we only have one home. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for your sincere speech. Now let's take a look at the policy proposals. Oh Chan-ju will share her story. Let's watch her video.
세종학생연합회 회장 소담고등학교 오찬주입니다. 저는 오늘 이 자리에서 학교 교육과정에 환경에 관한 학습이 반드시 필요하다라는 정책 제안을 하기 위해 이렇게 영상을 찍게 되었습니다. 여러분, 지금 우리의 지구는 무사한가요? 방송이나 뉴스를 통해 모두가 알고 계실 텐데요. 누구든 우리 지구가 환경적으로 문제가 있다라는 사실은 알고 있지만 개인과 사회가 구체적으로 어떤 노력을 해야 하는지에 대해서는 심각하게 고민하고 있지는 않은 것 같습니다. 저는 우리가 심각한 환경 문제를 알고만 있어서는 안 된다라고 생각을 합니다. 우리는 변화를 만들어내야 합니다. 먼저 학교에서는 환경에 관련된 교육을 체계적으로 운영해야 합니다. 지금 대부분의 학교에서는 환경에 관련된 과목을 배우기는 힘듭니다. 교육과정 안에서 환경의 심각성, 우리의 책무 등에 대해서 공부하고 실천할 수 있는 프로그램을 만들어야 합니다. 초기에는 각 학교에서 잘 이루어지지 않고 혼란스러울 수 있습니다. 그렇기 때문에 기간 단위에서 교육과정을 어떻게 운영해야 하는지 조언하고 지도해 줄 수 있는 부서가 있다면 더욱 좋을 것 같습니다. 초중 고등학교에서 모두 체계적인 환경 교육이 필요합니다. 물론 정부 등 이런 기관에서 환경 문제를 해결하는 것이 가장 빠르고 효율적일 수는 있습니다. 하지만 미래를 살아가는 것은 청소년입니다. 청소년들이 환경 관련 교육을 받으면 스스로 환경 문제에 대해서 생각하고 관심을 가지고 해결할 수 있는 능력을 갖추게 될 것입니다. 단지 이론적으로만 배우는 것이 아니라 환경 문제에 적극적으로 대처하고 실천할 수 있도록 하는 교육이어야만 합니다. 현장 체험학습 같은 경우에도 예쁘고 재미난 곳도 좋지만 한 번쯤은 환경 문제에 대해서 인식할 만한 곳으로 가보는 건 어떨까요? 예를 들어 쓰레기 매립장 같은 곳이 있는데요. 직접 본다면은 영상으로 보고 배우는 것보다 더 많은 것을 느끼고 그 심각성을 절감할 수 있을 것입니다. 청소년 여러분, 아무리 환경 교육을 만들고 이런 포럼을 개최한다고 하더라도 우리가 바뀌지 않으면 아무런 소용이 없다라는 거 다들 아시죠? 우리도 적극적으로 요구하고 직접 행동하며 실천하는 사람이 되어야 합니다. 저도 우리 지구를 살리기 위한 노력을 게을리하지 않겠습니다. 환경 문제를 해결하기 위해 청소년들의 노력도 필요하지만 환경 관련 정책을 마련하는 등 효과적으로 환경 문제를 인식하고 실천할 수 있는 프로그램을 더 많이 마련해 주시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you. Sometimes we do not ask because we do not know. We make excuses when that happens. However, I have realized it is wrong that not knowing well enough and not practicing what we need to do when it comes to environmental issues. We learned a lot through this forum, and I think everyone will agree with the fact that we must work together to protect the environment. How about starting with small actions right now?
That is right. Let's try to put what we learned into practice in our lives. Now, Chae Eun-hee, the Deputy Superintendent of Education of Sejong City, will deliver closing remarks.
It's a pleasure to meet you all. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the youth of Sejong and overseas cities who joined us in this meaningful event. Through the last 3 days of meeting, we learned about the environmental disasters that we face and shared our thoughts. I am very proud of your active participation despite many limitations of the online event, and you deserve my applause. I believe that the COVID-19 pandemic may have occurred because we focused too much on growth without making efforts to protect our environment. Adults, including myself, do not seem to have fulfilled their responsibilities regarding the environmental issues of our planet so far. I am very sorry about that. Now it is time to step up for coexistence and co-prosperity. As Greta Thunberg famously said, once we start to act, hope is everywhere. I ask you, practice what you can do in your daily life and act responsibly as the owner of the earth in the future. I believe that our small but powerful step will be a starting point for averting all disasters and opening a new future of coexistence. I hope to see you face to face at the forum next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Choi.
Okay everyone, it is time to wrap up. The one thing we must remember is that we all have the responsibility for our planet and that our action is required. I look forward for all of us to show thoughtful acts and showing love for our planet. I appreciate your participation for this important event and we will see you next year. 감사합니다. 우리 삶 속에서 늘 생각하고 행동하는 모습을 보여주는 저희 모두가 되기를 바라며 내년에 만나 뵙겠습니다.
Thank you. Please remember that our planet matters. That is all from us.
Goodbye. See you next year.